Lab 7 for MEC 116 AC circuits. The goal of this lab was to run a 3-volt DC motor off of the power supply of this 120 volt AC power supply. So we are taking 122 volts technically AC power, and we're bringing it all the way down to 3 volts DC power so that we can run this motor. The other part of the lab is to power these two LEDs off of 120 volts without using a bunch of resistors or a transformer. And here we go. So right here are my two input wires to the circuit. This is my 120. These two white wires are going to the LED circuit. I'm going to power it on now. See, the light came on. So we have no transformer going for here. These LEDs are running off 120 volts. I have a 1K resistor here and two capacitors put in series to create one capacitor that is exactly 78 nanofarads. That amount, the reason we chose those capacitors is because of impedance. The smaller the capacitor, the more impedance on the circuit. The more impedance on the circuit, the smaller the current. And we need a very small current to run these LEDs. So these capacitors are specifically chosen so that we can run these LEDs. The second part of the circuit is down here. Here I'm also tapping into the 120 into my transformer. This transformer takes 120 volt AC and brings it down to 3 volts or 6 volts. Between the two red wires we have 6 volts. Between each red and the green wire we have 3 volts, which happens to be what we need for this motor. Before the power gets to the motor from the transformer, we are running it through a rectifier. This rectifier is a full wave rectifier. It uses 4 diodes, and we run 3 volt AC power here and here, and we get 3 volt DC power out here and here. So AC comes in here, DC comes out here. So now we have DC voltage coming to this terminal block. From the terminal block, we're going to a switch. It is a three-way switch with 6 legs. And what the switch is doing is it is running our motor in both directions. So it changes the polarity of the motor depending on which way the switch is being pushed. You can see that we have a red and black wire going to the motor. So when the switch is one direction, the red wire will be positive and the black wire will be negative. When I flip the switch, the red wire will become negative and the black wire will become positive, causing the motor to spin in the opposite direction. So let's see this in action. Okay, so the switch is on. And it's hard to see in a video, but the fan is spinning towards me, towards the camera. When I flip it the opposite direction, it spins away from the camera. All right. And that's it for this lab.